Hi, and welcome to the School Health Educators Podcast, where we discuss health education and how to best teach health ed in the K 12 setting. Hi, and welcome to the School Health Educators Podcast. I'm your host, Lori Reichel. And it's almost summertime for a lot of us. Depending upon where you live, it might not feel like summertime with the weather, or maybe it does. Yet the reality is, during the summer months, most of us look for this time to recharge. We need some time to reflect and then recharge before another school year begins. And I think it's really smart that we have this time to do that. Some people are like, other positions don't. Yet after working with children and youth, and it's nothing against them, you need some time to recap from your school year and then figure out what you're going to do the following year even better. So to help me go over some ideas about how to recharge is my guest, Nicole Sheffer. Now, Nicole, I don't know much about her, but what I love about recording podcast episodes is I get to become more familiar and potentially friends with the people that are guests. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being here. And I'm really looking forward to getting to learn a little bit about you and about ideas about how to recharge over the summer. So hi, Nicole.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Thanks for saying yes. Thanks for saying yes to the dress of the School Health Educators podcast. Um, so would you mind telling us a little bit about who you are?
So my name's Nicole Sheffer. I teach health and fitness in Louisville, Kentucky. And it's Louisville, not Louisville. We get a
Louisville.
lot of, yeah, we're really picky about that. Home of the Kentucky Derby. So.
And how long have you been teaching health education?
I have been teaching officially since 2019. So I got thrown in kind of right before COVID.
Wow.
And I was actually an alternative cert. So I started in athletic training and sports medicine and very quickly realized that the schedule was just not going to be realistic for family for a very long term. And the school that I was working at had a health position open. And so they didn't offer it to me. They told me I should apply. And I did. And it was the absolute best decision I've ever made in my entire life. So it's been really cool to combine the two of like kind of the athletics and fitness. And I think you realize when you're in a role like that, how much people are missing and maybe don't understand and misinformation. So it's been really cool to see or to be able to change that a little bit too. So
And so you're working with what grades?
mainly freshmen. So we
Okay.
actually found out today that we have over 100 upperclassmen who have not had health yet. So I'm a little excited about that for next year that I'm going to have so many older students. They're kind of like a breath of fresh air when you teach freshmen all day long, but mainly freshmen. They're supposed to have it their freshman year. They just kind of, if it doesn't fit in their schedule. We are lucky not to offer online health. We actually,
Yes.
someone asked me about it. Why don't they just teach online health? That would make schedules so much easier. And I kind of snapped back a little bit that, like, because we have good health teachers that can teach it. And it's, I mean, if they want an online health class that they're not going to do or learn anything, then it's not, if it was a teacher that was leading it, then that would be one thing. But so we are very lucky that everybody has just one semester even of true skills-based health.
Excellent. Because it's about life skills, life habits. And it's just like if you're like, oh, I'm going to teach physical education in an online class. I'm sorry, that doesn't increase movement. That increases sitting down. That's what it
Yeah.
does.
Quality PE makes a difference too. I
Yeah.
think that there are sometimes regular PE kids don't do anymore either. So I've really pushed the love for movement and wanting to move and the reason you move and finding something that you actually want to do and not associating physical movement with basketball only or volleyball only.
Hmm.
So that's been kind of my platform here the last 7 years. So
And so you've been doing this for 7 years. And folks, Nicole just received the Shape America Southern District Teacher of the Year, and she has 7 years in. Wow, congratulations on that. Wow.
thank you. I still really can't believe it. It has been a wild, wild ride. I have so much support here in the city. Our district has incredible leadership. Our state has incredible leadership, and especially coming kind of from an alternative certification and not that traditional pathway, I would
Mhm.
be nowhere without Kentucky Shape America, and my Jefferson County folks. So,
Wonderful. Wonderful. So shout out for Kentucky
shout
Shape as
out.
well as the National Shape, and congratulations again, Nicole.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, as I stated at the beginning of this recording, that it's summertime for a lot of people, or it's going to be, and it's the time to recharge. So, would you mind sharing how you recharge over the summer months?
Yeah. So I was thinking about it this year and kind of what my main, what do I need the most? And I will be honest, this year was one of the hardest. I don't know if it was the energy of the kids. We are phone free this year, but this is actually our second year of being phone free. So I don't know if it was, like now they're trying to touch the boundaries and it was still just harder to enforce than it was the year before. But it was just really challenging. And we actually just graduated today. So
Yay!
teachers still have 2 more work days, but we're done. We're ready to go. And I think my biggest thing overall has been professional development. Kentucky Shape, June 24th. If registration's still open, that to me, I think just meeting other people and having ideas, like it is really important to find the balance between resting and relaxing and finding time to yourself, and then also just having some fresh ideas and something
Yeah.
to motivate you and kind of, I mean, refresh and recharge. Like you still kind of need that motivation. I was thinking, while you were doing your intro that, like, yeah, you need to rest, but also could you imagine just going year round and never having a break to have any kind of reflection or
Mhm.
change or any kind of adjustment, and how incredibly boring that would be. And so I think really just finding that happy medium where you get a little bit of a break, but you don't completely shut down too. It's really, really important.
So you're going to do some professional development, and that's one of the ways you recharge. I know some people
Yeah.
would be like, no, but I like that. I think even reading some professional books at times,
Yeah.
whether it be Atomic Habits, or I know Andy Milne, I've asked him to come back on and talk about his summer readings. I don't know if he got my email yet, but I'm hoping he says yes. But because those things can help us recharge professionally for the new
Yes.
school year.
Yeah, I completely agree. Quality, anything. It doesn't have to be health related. It doesn't have to be school related or teaching. Absolutely, self-help books.
Mm.
Just sometimes like some, I don't want to call them friends, I guess, but people on social media that you can relate to. Like sometimes you get some really good ideas,
Mhm.
even just from other people that can kind of help recharge too. Um, One of the biggest things for me, and I realized this the last couple days, like I said, I had a really rough school year, and I was just exhausted at the end. I don't know, I felt like I wasn't being effective, that my students weren't really buying in, and I was like, man, like, what am I doing? So I do an end of course evaluation every year, and this year I was like, I don't even feel like doing it. what's the point? They're not gonna, they're gonna be like, your class is stupid and you should stop teaching. And when I gave it to them, it was the complete opposite. And it was so refreshing that they did get it. And sometimes, like, the assignments and the things that you don't think are memorable are the ones that they remember. And that, like, I don't know, I committed. And it was really helpful to see kind of what they thought, and I don't know, maybe patting me on the back too, I guess, that I needed, but it was so helpful. And even, if there was something that I needed to change, but it was really nice.
Can I ask how you do the reflection? Because I think that's fantastic. And because we're
Yeah.
the hardest on ourselves. And am I making an impact? And then to do something at the end of the year. So what do you do, Nicole?
Mine is just a Google form. I send it out and it's really basic. What was the most impactful lesson from this course? And we actually spend a few minutes kind of looking back at we use Google Classroom. So I kind of encourage them to look at the things that we've done. Otherwise, it's really end of the year heavy. We also kind of load up the fun stuff at the end too. We're doing CPR and drugs and alcohol and all of the like really heavy stuff at the end of the year in sex education. So that's the stuff that generally sticks with them. So we kind of refresh first. The most impactful, I think I label it as, what was your favorite? What was your least favorite? What is something you'll remember forever? Um, Specifically, are there any activities that we should stop and change? And then any comments. And the comments are usually the best, where you get the, like I have the human anatomy or reproductive anatomy, like plushies, and the kids are, why do you have that? Why do you have a plush uterus? Um, so yeah.
Very nice. And folks, if you're able to watch this on the School Health Educators YouTube channel, you should see the smile that appeared on Nicole's face when she mentioned, like any other comments, because that is so important. Like, our students are why we do what we do, and hearing from them the comments, their reflections can be very empowering and help us recharge.
Mhm. Well, and I think sometimes, like, you just don't know. Like, sometimes it's just the quiet kids that don't speak up or say anything. And I don't know, it's just like the notes that say, I really loved this class, even if it's just something simple like that, like, are just so nice.
Wonderful.
It's so nice. Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone over already that some professional development can help with recharging, reading over those reflections that you decided to do, and good for you for doing that. So that can help to recharge. Are there other things that you do too, just for you as a human being to recharge?
Um, no, I feel like this summer is really just always, I'm very professional development heavy. I'm actually teaching a no pool, no problem aquatics and PE without a pool next Tuesday for our district,
Fun.
which is, it's just so different. I'm so excited to teach it. And just, I don't know, taking some time for myself. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, and a husband too, but just getting to spend time with them and not have to run 87 other places. It just,
Hmm.
I don't know. I think you were right. Like, you just need a break
Hmm.
after 150 kids all day, every day for 10 months out of the year. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. It was funny. And maybe this is part of it too. Like, when we were talking about doing this, I said, this is so far out of my comfort zone. And not maybe 12 hours after I sent that, I heard somewhere, when you step out of your comfort zone gets bigger. And I was like, of course. Like, if I had even thought of myself leading a professional development 10 years ago, absolutely not. I remember actually when they asked me to teach my first session. And I was like, no, not
Mm-hmm.
absolutely no way. And now I teach, I don't know, at least 10 a year
Mm-hmm.
that like I volunteer for, and that was my choice. So that has been huge. Yeah. Step out of your comfort zone and make that comfort zone bigger.
Would you say that sometimes when you do that, especially professionally, it reminds you of who you are and why you do what you do?
I think so. And I think, I don't know, that maybe we all kind of get like an imposter syndrome, and
Mm,
especially like I am still pretty new. And so it's really hard for me to say, like, I know I've only been doing this for a few years, but you should trust me.
mm-hmm.
and and so I think you just kind of have to believe in yourself. And even if you're not the greatest that you will ever be or any better than anybody else, that you're able to share your ideas. And sometimes that's enough too.
Yeah.
I think, too, if you're seeing someone who you can relate to and you think, like, oh, this person is just like me, like maybe it'll encourage somebody else to step up too. And then we have more wanting to be
Hmm.
leaders and wanting to kind of spread their
Yes.
information. So, yeah, I think it can be really helpful.
Yeah, to do things professionally, yeah, if you have a great idea, put in a proposal for a conference. Typically, you don't get paid for that kind of thing. That's all volunteer. Like I'm the health
Yeah.
ed section president in New York State AFERD for this year, and it's all about, how do we get these volunteers to present? So we're trying to do some really proactive things, but it really empowers a person when you do present some really creative ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think just make it fun. Like
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be the most innovative lesson that you've ever taught or something completely out of the box. Just yeah, sharing your ideas, what worked, what doesn't work.
Hmm.
And I think especially in health education, you said it, like we're usually on our own little island.
Yeah.
And so being able to share those ideas and seeing what works with someone else when otherwise you're kind of by yourself.
Hmm. So maybe as we head to the conclusion of our recording, but we're not there yet. But as we head there, we can encourage people to ask themselves, how can they step out of their comfort zone? What can you do for the next year, maybe? And you can think about this summer. Yes, you're going to recoup over the summer. You have to step out of your comfort zone, in which before Nicole and I started recording, she shared with me that she's in charge of some fun committee at her school. And I think that would be something that would help people step out of their comfort zone and be a lot of fun. Would you please explain what that committee is that you're in charge of?
Of course. Yeah, I was actually just thinking like that was absolutely out of my comfort zone. We have been really culture and climate building heavy the last couple of years, just really trying to push teacher morale and student morale and behavior intervention. And our administrator that's over culture and climate was talking about this committee that he had, and he thought, I think we could really focus on like teacher wellness and just kind of like do the fun things. And I said, hello, that dibs. And so, yeah, we call it the Teacher Fun and Wellness Committee. And we have organized, we did a virtual 5K for the angel tree at our school. We only, well, I say only, I think $800 for our angel tree for students at our school to buy Christmas gifts. And it kind of took away the excuse of, oh, I'm busy on Friday, so I can't run in that 5K, or I've never run a 5K before, because they set their own goals. We had little milestones that they checked along the way. And, we made t-shirts and social media things too. We have done an in-person 5K. But really the best part of it is the fun. And like, I just get to move around school and I'll do the social media, TikTok trends, and interview our teachers and ask them funny questions or make them, do something. We, on the last day of school, set up a speaker and a tent and made all of our teachers dance into school. And that, I think when you talk about recharging, like I needed that, but you could see it on the face of the teachers too when they heard the music coming around the corner of the parking lot, that they were like, we got this. We are gonna do it. We've got 7 more hours. But it has just been like, maybe from the outside they're like, this person is so unserious, but it has 100% made a difference in my professional capacity. Like I feel more involved. I feel willing to do things because I feel like it makes a difference, and I can feel the difference in the school. Like it's really cool for them to say, like, I can't believe that we did that the other day. That was so cool. We actually have a faculty kickball game coming up on Friday,
Wow.
which is, I guess, our kind of culminating fun wellness event. But the teachers
Just
have, yeah, like we've got walk up songs and speakers and a cookout and
nice.
just friendly competition. It's going to be great. We're so excited.
Nice. So thank you for sharing your ideas for how to recharge. So I highly encourage folks to do that this summer. So we challenge you, if I'm okay to say this, Nicole. Nicole and I challenge you. How can you step out of your comfort zone, or how can you plan to in the next year, and when you can make that plan this summer?
Yeah, definitely. And I think really sometimes you just have to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like put yourself out there and say, I'm going to do this, or ask,
Hmm.
hey, can I do this? It would be really cool if we had somebody that could, coordinate all the fun stuff at school, or that could,
Yeah.
give us something to recharge once a month.
Hmm.
And yeah, you advocate for yourself and create it.
Yeah. Before we end for today, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, I just think it's really important it is so easy, especially I think in health and physical education, when you are kind of by yourself, to sit back and be like, I wish we did this at school, or I
Yeah.
wish that admin did this, or I wish that our job was more respected. If you don't do anything about it, it's not going to get better.
Right.
And it is so important in our area to be visible and to be advocates for ourselves instead of kind of sitting on that island and just hoping that somebody's going to come save you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I thank you for being here today, Nicole. And I do need to ask, if people want to contact you, what can they do?
Email is probably the best. It's just nicole.sheffer@jefferson.kyschools.us.
Okay, great. Great. Well, I thank you again for being here, Nicole. And I do hope that you're able to recharge this summer. I hope you can. And hopefully the listeners are able to do that too, because folks, you are important. And as I traditionally end the episodes, I remind you of, following this podcast, giving us some 5 stars, checking out the School Health Educators website, that I'm hopefully going to work on more this summer, as I have some downtime. But the most important thing that I say at the end, and I want to say it here again, is to remind you how important you are. You are so important. Children and youth need us. They do. And after a long year, and if you're only having a couple of weeks off, I hope you're recharging there, because after doing all that you're doing to help these young people be healthier, you deserve a break and you deserve to recharge. So please take care of yourself, and thank you for doing what you're doing. And Nicole, thank you again. Would you like to say goodbye to our listeners?
Yes, thank you again for having me. You were absolutely right. Take some time for yourself, recharge, but don't forget that what you are doing is important too. Don't forget that there is a purpose. It is so, so easy to kind of get stagnant in
Yeah.
health and PE. And it is probably the most ever changing content. I mean, I feel like even, I teach in semesters, and it's by the spring, something has changed at some point.
Yeah.
So absolutely take time for yourself and come back ready to go.
Great. Thank you again, and stay well,
Yeah.
folks.
Thank you.